All right. I've clicked the start streaming button. So, I can probably add an audio filter. Noise gate. Okay. I guess that seems all right. I'm going to bring up the close threshold. I'm bringing down the close threshold. Check. 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 Seems pretty far down there. That's negative 70 degrees. Negative 70 decibels. This is negative 80. That one still triggered it. Negative 90. That one did it. Okay, so I don't know. I guess I'll put it at negative 60. Open threshold. We can put it negative 40. Yes.
Did you by any chance eat spicy ramen last night?
No. Why?
What were the bowls downstairs for? Those ramen bowls?
I don't remember. There's probably a couple bowls by my computer from ramen.
Well, like on the end table.
I don't know. You're asking me in a way that makes me think that a cat jumped up and spilled it on the carpet.
There were just there were hard noodles in the carpet in that area. But they weren't like the regular ramen noodles. They were like from the package I usually get, which is spicy.
Huh. I've had no spicy ramen.
Perhaps the cat made spicy ramen and put it on the floor.
Well, hello, Nick and Gavi and Ashley and Literature Sim and Martha and Dan Jones and Michael Park. I need to pop out the chat. Just pop it out. Just pop it out. This is the wrong button. Pop out chat. There we go. This is the first live stream from my new laptop, and it's also the first live stream that I'm using the Blue Yeti microphone. I don't have headphones in, so I can't exactly hear what you're hearing, but I hope that it sounds better than usual.
Sounds really
Nice and crisp. Do I sound like I'm on a radio show?
A little bit.
99.9. Welcome to 89.7 Woodhouse Radio. We got some real smooth tunes for you today. I'm Spachone Balone. Did any portion of that joke make it into the vlog ever? It's just entirely an inside thing.
It is.
My apologies. Martha B says it's only my second live stream, but it's a lot better than last time. Did I steal that from Kelsey? Actually, no. Michael Morgan had this microphone, and he sent it to me. I don't remember what we were doing. Some situation, we were in a Skype call or a Slack call or something, and I was complaining about microphone quality, so he just sent me the one that he had. It's because Michael Morgan's always looking out. So since the last time that I saw you, I have visited Australia, which was a very nice trip. I think I was there for 12 days? 10 days. The entire amount of travel was 14 days of travel, but 12 of those days were actually spent in Australia. What laptop did I get? It's fairly similar to the old one. They're both Alienware, and this one is a 17-inch. When I was shopping for laptops, I set my max budget, and then within my budget, this one tempted me because it has a full-on NVIDIA GTX 1080 in it. Like, not a mobile version of the card, just full-on desktop version. But in retrospect, I wish that I had gotten a smaller one, because this thing's 17 inches, and the last one that I had was 15 inches. I think that should be like max size. My favorite laptop that I've ever owned was an Alienware M11X. It was 11 inches. It was so portable, so nice. I know that the first time I try traveling with this big giant thing, I'm going to be annoyed. I lost the chat. Where do we go? Yeah, Gavi, the weight of this thing is probably the biggest annoyance. How was the trip? It was pretty good. I flew into Sydney. Well, I guess even before the trip started, I had some travel problems because when I originally called Delta, I have a bunch of airline miles with Delta. So I called Delta and wanted to use my airline miles to fly to Sydney. And I spoke to a very pleasant woman who helped me book my flight. And it got all the way up to the point where even if you use your airline miles, you still have to pay cash for the taxes. And for whatever reason, my Visa card wasn't working when I was talking to the Delta rep on the phone. So she said, here's a confirmation number that you can use to pull up this same itinerary after you call your bank and figure out what's going on with your card. You can call us back, use this number to bring up the itinerary, and then we'll just charge the card and you'll be set. So I had to wait until the next day when my bank opened, called them, fixed the problem, called Delta back, and when I gave them this confirmation number, the guy that I was talking to at this point was like, we can't find your reservation. We're going to have to remake it from scratch. So we go through the whole process of choosing flights again, but then when he attempts to book those flights, it doesn't let him. And after what felt like hours on the phone, what we eventually came to discover was that Delta itself does not fly direct from LAX to Melbourne, where VidCon was. They partner with Virgin Australia, and as a part of that partnership, there are only a certain number of seats on each plane, on each Virgin Australia plane, that Delta is allowed to book. And in the time that I had taken to figure out my bank stuff, I guess all those things had been booked up on that particular flight. There are also entire blackout dates where Virgin Australia doesn't let their partners book on their planes for certain times. So because of all of that, if I wanted to fly from LAX to Melbourne, I would have to have flown on September 2nd and not flown back to the United States until something like October 14th. Like well over a month in Australia, which at another time in my life, I am sure would have been incredible. But I don't have time for that right now. So what ended up happening was I had to book a flight from LAX to Sydney and then just trust that once I got to Sydney, I would be able to figure out how to get myself down to Melbourne and back because I had to fly out of Sydney back to LAX. So I flew into Sydney. I left Missoula on the morning of September 2nd, like 6 a.m. And I arrived in Sydney at about 6:30 a.m. September 4th. I spent a couple days in Sydney with a couple friends, one of whom, I guess the last live stream I had, I sent a text or a Twitter message to Creamy Middles, Rachel, and she eventually responded. So the first night that I was in Sydney, I stayed at her apartment, and then the second night that I was in Sydney, I stayed at my friend Chris Lieben's house. If you've been watching videos of mine for a long time, Chris Lieben is an old friend. We were discussing about how we have known each other for 10 years, which is crazy. I booked a flight on an airline called Tiger Air, which is like a super discount airline. And it was only like an hour and a half flight or something from Sydney to Melbourne. It wasn't that long. And it was super cheap. I think I ended up paying just like $40 or $50 for that flight. But in Melbourne, I stayed with someone named Pim, and I had a lot of burgers. I think every day that I was in Australia, I had at least one burger. I was on a mission to discover my favorite burger in Australia. And I think the one that sticks out at me the most is a place called Mary's in Sydney. The aesthetic of the establishment looks a little satanic, a little death metal-y. So I could see how some people would be like, I don't want to go in that building. But the burger was delicious. VidCon happened. It was a good experience. I think everybody involved with VidCon felt like Australia's VidCon went off better than VidCon Europe. So I know that they're already planning to do another VidCon Australia next year. The last night at VidCon Australia, I was sitting at a table, and even while I was sitting there, I thought it was interesting that there were like maybe a dozen of us sitting around this table, and I think the longest anyone had known each other at that table before was the length of time that Pim and I had known each other, which was like a month from the time that I tweeted out that I needed a place in Melbourne and had a Skype call with her about it. So it's just interesting to me that at conventions like that, you can find people with shared interests and become fast friends to the point where 3 of us at that table planned to rent a car together. The 3 of us had known each other for like 24 hours or less. And we rented the car and drove together the following morning. I don't remember how many hours. I think it took us 12 hours. There was a lot of stopping to Canberra, which is the capital of Australia. And then this guy that I met named Victor, who drove with me, he just was like, here's a room in my house, and I lived in it for a couple days. And then the night before I had to fly back out of Sydney, I just took a bus from Canberra back to Sydney. And then I spent, 20-something hours of plane rides back to Missoula. That's the basic outline of the Australia trip. There will be many more details, I'm sure, in the videos from that 10 days. I live near Sydney and got an 11-hour train each way to VidCon, so I feel ya. Yep. Yeah, that train would have been interesting. As long as it had an electrical outlet. Possibly free Wi-Fi.
Wasn't the Wi-Fi really bad? Or at least
Oh, yes. The internet in Australia is atrocious. And yes, Gavi, I still am looking for a place in Memphis. My understanding of the situation, granted, this was told to me by a couple millennial types, so I understand that my kin can be biased, but the story that I got was that there was a liberal government in power. And when I say liberal, I mean that in the... I mean liberal as an adjective, not as a name. Because in Australia, there is what is called the Liberal Party, which is actually right-wing. So maybe instead of using the word liberal, I'll use the word progressive. A more progressive government put together this plan to bring fiber internet or lay fiber optic cable or something for the whole country. And they initiated this plan, and partway through the implementation of this plan, that government lost power, and the actual named Liberal Party came into power, decided that they didn't like that the other government had put together this plan, and decided to put forth their own plan that used copper cable instead of fiber optic cable. They thought this was going to save a bunch of money, but apparently it has cost way more money for much worse internet for everybody. That is the story that I got. But everywhere that I was, I never got a connection anywhere close to what we have in Missoula, Montana, of all places. What is that cat doing? Oh, he's back. Whew. I think overall, my experience in Australia has led me to feel like that country is more of a sister country to the United States than I had felt before. I had commented a few times that the country feels like if you took the UK and the US and smashed them together, you would have Australia. There's, especially in the architecture of Sydney and the layout of Sydney, it feels like you can just feel the Commonwealth influence. Sydney's layout reminds me of London in that it doesn't make sense. The streets were originally designed for horse-driven carriages, not cars. It's not on a grid. It's very confusing. But at the same time, Australians also have this sort of cavalier cowboy attitude about them, which is very similar to the American yeehaw, we do whatever we want. So I think I have a fondness for Australia because of it. Only USA has grids? Well, Melbourne's on a grid. And in SimCity, when I make cities, sure feels like grids work nicely. Phil knows what's up. Yes, sir. I call Rachel Hoffman Charlie so often that when I see Rachel at the beginning of Charlie's name, it's like a dysphoria about my existence, not my body.
Is this real? I think I just blank it out. Like in my brain, that doesn't exist. It's just Charlie.
She says, "What?"
What?
Woo! Oh, who was walking? I saw someone walking on the street. Get off my lawn! I don't know. Was she attractive?
I don't think so.
Okay.
She didn't have good laundry.
I wish more Australian places were on a grid. Some places are so confusing. Let me tell you about how weird kangaroos are, because they are a very bizarre animal. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that hopping was as... They just make it look so efficient. And they move so fast. It's so bizarre. I hope I got decent footage of kangaroos hopping around.
Did you get slow-mo footage? 'Cause that'd be pretty cool.
I don't think I did. I took the Panasonic GH5 with me on this trip. I also took a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, but I tried to use the GH5 more because that was the camera that I was more unfamiliar with. And at least the way I had it set up, it was really annoying to switch back and forth between shooting 24 frames per second and then shooting, I think, 60 frames per second, which was the sort of slow-mo mode. It was like this whole menu process of going in, changing the function, the underlying setting of the camera to something else so that you could go into a different function and enable the variable frame rate. Oh, I know what it was. Part of the niceness of shooting with the GH5, like its main claim to fame for most people, I think, is that it shoots in 10-bit color space, which when you're color correcting and grading in post-production allows you to push and pull the footage more before it starts looking terrible.
Gotcha.
You can't shoot the high frame rate in 10-bit. You have to do that in 8-bit. So I had it in 10-bit when I was shooting 24 frames per second, but if I wanted to shoot slow motion, I'd have to go into the menu, find the thing to change it from 10-bit to 8-bit, and that enabled the other function in some other menu that would allow me to crank up the frame rate to 60 or
It's
whatever.
weird that they wouldn't just make that an automatic process.
That's how I feel about most DSLR type menu settings. They don't seem very intuitive to me. I've never seen one where I'm like, yes.
Well, and then you have the presets that you're like, who would use this? Why is this a preset?
Yeah, thanks for giving me that sepia-toned preset. Or the one that like makes visual echoes as you move around.
Yes. Yep.
What happened to Glenn? Like, did something bad happen to Glenn? Or what? I moved to a house, and when I did that, Glenn moved to an apartment closer to the university where he works. Canon menus have always felt like the clunkiest things about the cameras. I think the last Canon menu that I ever used was the Canon 7D, which was... I bought that camera in like 2004, 2005, something like that. I've seen Glenn a couple times. I think I'm trying to remember where the vlog is right now and where I saw Glenn. I think once or twice I've seen Glenn in the gap, but I don't remember if I filmed it or not. I don't think I did. I think it was just like, you know, trying to live in the moment, hang out, catch up without shoving a camera in his face. Any updates with Cinema Studios? Well, today's the 23rd, so in about a week, today's Saturday, unless you're in Australia, it's currently Sunday. So in 9 days from now, we'll have access to the new wing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think right now we have 800 square feet of space. And I think when we get the new space, it'll expand our office space to 2,000 square feet. Or maybe it's by 2,000 square feet. We're going to have a lot more room, is the thing. So that's very exciting. I want to know what the big business decision is that you had to make. That is still being figured out. It feels significantly more solid than it did when I was having a sort of existential crisis about it, but it's a thing. I don't know if it's yet a thing that will... I'm sure it'll be good. It's hard to see how good it'll be. I don't want to be all like, it's a secret, I can't tell you, but it's a secret and I can't tell you. Yeah, we do have an Instagram.
Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all
Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all the things.
Chloe, I haven't told Michael that yet, actually. That pin that you got that was like the nap pin, Chloe had sent that. Chloe ordered it from that and sent it to you. So.
I think I saw that as a comment on that video or something. Well, good job, Chloe. You got whoever that was some extra advertising. Much to do about Nout. Oh. We have what I'm doing right now, royalty, in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We need a Pinterest now? Do people use Pinterest socially?
I don't, but I don't know.
I've only ever used it for like, this is a personal board for me and I'm assembling ideas for a thing that I'm working on. It's not like, hey friends, check out what I am putting on my board for whatever.
Agreed. It's my recipe book.
Much ado about Nout had a wedding? Like in real life? What? I feel out of the loop. Whoa.
A studio Tinder account.
Congratulations on getting hitched. A studio Tinder account. What would we chat at people who swipe right?
I don't know.
Just give them discount codes and a link to the store? I'm interested enough to see what happens.
When you're on Tinder and you swipe and it's like clearly a spam account or a business ad or whatever, it's so frustrating. You're just like, get out of my life. So I wouldn't want to.
Don't want to inspire the ire of fellow Missoulians. Huh. Well.
Although I think it's our Instagram profile that reads a little bit like a Tinder profile.
Do we like long walks on the beach?
Good story and work lenses and walks on the beach.
I spoke with someone about taking responsible naps. She said she is very responsible and plans her whole day around naps. Very responsible.
She has a responsible people shirt.
Can I request some ASMR with that mic? Do I just whisper? Do I need to get closer to the mic? Is this ASMR? Welcome to the ASMR stream. Here's an empty soda can. Do you think I would make a lot of money on Twitch if I just did some ASMR streams? Tingles for days. Tap on it.
The mic or the can?
I think the mic.
That sounds weird.
What's Kelsey's and Nick's thing? Who's Nick? ASMR? What?
When has Nick done ASMR?
I
Missed that one.
I don't know. I'm still, yeah. Joking about Nick. What Nick? Nick Jenkins? Invisible Nick? Nick Jonas? Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
I wish that I could experience this ASMR thing for just like 5 seconds. I want to understand it, but I don't have it. It doesn't do anything. When you're going to record a gym session, well, gotta go to the gym first, and I haven't done that in a while. Whew, have you never? Not even from music? There are songs that have made me feel emotions, but they're not any different than, like, I don't know, other emotions.
I like this. If pizza or burger made a sound, you'd have it.
I don't get the head tingling bit. Any feelings that music gives me is always like chesty.
Do you get goosebumps? I get that.
If I do, I don't remember. After you take care of that stick, are you ready to put some goop in my hair?
Oh, you just want to do it?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be loud.
It's gonna be loud. Oh, I can turn the volume down.
Sure.
What's gonna be loud?
Look at
Oh, I didn't realize that was happening.
yeah.
That looked like a gesture for smoking weed. Well, it was a gesture for smoking. You gotta go. I don't have a live feed, so I assume that was in the shot.
Yeah, that
but
was likely in the shot.
um,
There we go.
it's just a regular old cigarette. Not that I condone that either, but I mean, I condone it. You can do it if you want to. Not that I think that he should. Not that I think that you should. You know what I mean. I hope. Bucket light still among the living?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
There it is. So, my hair's gotten really long. And we're gonna put some very intense hair stuff in it to see if we can get it to stay up.
It's so long.
Yep. I can't remember the last time that my hair was this long. Secret hands are secret? What? Oh. Mohawk time? I don't have enough on the back. It's short back here. It's all just on top. Rocking that 2009 emo look. Yes, yes, yes. What should the name of my band be?
I don't know.
Something like Dagger from a Broken Heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. I just realized that I've never smelled my own hair before.
Oh, that is weird.
Hmm.
I smell my hair all the time.
It smells like hair. That's what my hair smells like. It smells like hair.
Now you gotta invest in some good smelling shampoo. It's like so nice. It's just like, it's good smell.
Just like a portable, I don't know, air freshener network of hair.
Yeah.
When you need a whiff.
It's so nice.
Broken-hearted bucket lights.
That sounds like a country album or something.
Finding emo. The blonde stripe isn't very stripy anymore. You're right. Which, I don't know, is that... What's the variance in hair growth speed between individual follicles?
I don't know. I thought about that.
Because I think I would have expected that you'd still have a pretty hard line where the blonde starts.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't appear to be the case. I guess if I want to keep having a blonde stripe, I'll need to just like dye or bleach just one individual small section like this.
And then it flaps over. Oh, that'd be so strange.
I could just bleach this whole bit and leave this dark. Maybe if I were going to bleach a small thing, I would keep it on the downward side so that it doesn't go like over the top. It's just here. Yeah, it'll be in this bit. Bleach my eyebrows, just one.
Stripe in the eyebrow. Oh.
How did the blonde stripe begin? I don't really know. In 2006, I think, my hair was longer on the sides than it is right now, and it was kind of combed over like this with the kind of little swoopy thing in the front. Reminds me of like 50s, like golly gee willikers type of men's hairstyle. And so I had a part right here, and I just decided that I wanted to, I got some bleach and I put it along the part. At the time, I also put a spot like here around my ear for some reason. I don't know why, but there was like that happened. And when I went to class the following day, I had 2 separate instances of someone being like, huh, I really like that. So I decided to keep doing it, and like I stopped worrying about this part. This just grew out and got cut off, and I just kept doing this thing. And then when I started doing YouTube stuff, it was a really easy way for me to stick in people's heads. It was like a branding thing. People would remember, oh, that guy with the blonde stripe. And then I just kept it. And then I made shirts. Long road here today. What's the long road? Long road to where? From where? I also am starting to get gray hair. I've got like 2 or 3 of them somewhere on this side of my head. It has begun.
Tumors?
Gray hair.
Also tumors.
I just got rid of all my gray hair.
Mm.
Do you have a history of people going gray at a certain age in your family?
My dad is 56 right now, and I would classify him as like salt and pepper.
Gotcha.
I know that when it comes to baldness, that's inherited from the X chromosome.
Yes, it is a sex-linked trait. Well, male
Is-
pattern baldness.
Is graying of hair also, or is that
No, I don't think so. Because you're getting that from both, like, males and females kind of exhibit that at a similar rate.
I just didn't know if mentioning my dad's graying was relevant to anything, but I guess yeah.
I mean, I would assume that it's from both sides.
My mom. What year is it? It's 2017. So I guess my mom was like 40, mid 40s when she died. And I think I would have considered her to be like 25% gray.
Okay.
I don't know what the average graying age is. My ex-girlfriend, Jacqueline, who's getting married in October, if I can find a place to stay in the Memphis area, I'll be going to that wedding. She was very gray in high school. I think when I met her, I was 17 and she was 15. And she was already dyeing her hair regularly.
That's interesting. My dad was balding at 18, but graying not so much.
My grandfather went bald in high school. And I'm not talking about like wispy on top. I mean,
Like-
bald.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking forward to going bald. So much less maintenance and hassle.
My mom's dad, his hair is very white now, but I feel like it's been just within the last 5 years or so that he lost the last of the grayness and went straight white. He's probably 80-ish.
That's a lot of 50, Steve.
50% will be 50% gray by age 50.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're at an average time to be graying.
Time has come. There have been a few instances in the last year of just being overwhelmed with a feeling that I have a hard time putting into words. Usually it comes from perusing something like Instagram and finding pictures of people who are like either still in high school or college, and like there's a weird kind of nostalgia involved because I'm like sucked back to when I was that age, and there's a feeling of I have infinite possibilities in front of me. I can do whatever I want with my life. And realizing that I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like my life is a blank canvas upon which I can build my own meaning. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on that canvas now. And while I don't necessarily feel like there's ever an age that you can stop learning new things and having new experiences, there's a difference between feeling like I can continue to write infinitely on the back end of a novel that's already 10 chapters deep versus starting fresh with 0 words on 0 pages. Paula's here.
Hi, Paula.
Now the party can begin.
Yeah, I know that.
Which person? Yeah.
Burn it all to the ground. Yeah.
Don't joke about that. We live in a very wood house.
This wall will still be here at least.
Right.
Brick wall.
There's a couple places of stone.
Our kitchen will be gone. The basement will probably still be alright.
I don't know, that carpet is super fluffy.
Yeah, how flammable is that super comfortable carpet?
I don't know. Someone says bucket light will prevail. Prevail. All hail bucket light.
Bucket light. I'm gonna make shirts that are just a bucket light.
I wouldn't be surprised if several people bought bucket light shirts at this point.
Team bucket light. It's gonna say on the back.
What's your birthday party?
She said she picked up the mail on her way out.
Thanks.
Is your cell phone broken?
What?
Is your cell phone broken?
No, I just had you ask her because I was up here talking to you and my cell phone was downstairs.
Oh. Or a bucket light pin?
Oh, I like the idea of a bucket light enamel pin. I would totally have that. More so than I'd want a shirt, I think.
I think just auction off the bucket light. And the table.
But then I don't have bucket
You
light.
could buy bucket light.
I like bucket light so much.
The chain would not be provided though. It would be heavy and costly to ship.
Yeah.
I'm going to conduct an experiment.
Oh,
Um, How does this thing work? Like this? maybe? Okay. I'm going to try enabling a second camera angle. Dual camera angle. I'll tell you what bothers me most about this laptop so far is that it has fewer USB ports than my old one.
What does it have?
I think it just has 3.
How did bucket light become a thing? Bucket light was in Woodhouse.
And one of them is USB-C specifically. So I have 2 regular USB ports and one USB-C port.
Gotta get that super fast data transfer, man.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that second camera angle.
Ooh.
Dang.
Oh yeah, this is me. Now I can see how crazy I look.
And this one's mobile. You can
Oh,
like.
jeez.
Hi, Abby Genius.
That's Simons from the Twitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize I was talking to the Simance.
Mhm.
Who?
One of our loyal Twitch people.
Their username here is Literature Sim.
Oh, the pants is overrated dude.
I don't know what.
From earlier when I was like.
Yes, pants are overrated. Oh, hi friends.
Well,
How long-
shall we?
How long do these things usually go on for?
An hour-ish. I started a little bit late, so whenever.
Putting up hair will take a bit.
That's fine. I'm trying to figure out how to, like if I slouch,
Do you need a mask?
Plug.
Plug.
I think there's one.
There's
But-
definitely
there's
one
definitely
down here.
one right there,
Do
yeah.
you need the extension cord?
Oh, there's one right there too. I just want to, get the camera angle so that he feels nice and comfortable. Comfortable. Bye, Steve. Bye, Teresa. Have fun making choices. You know where I got that saying from? Make good choices? That was the thing that Claire said all the time.
My 11th grade English teacher would say that all the time. Every time we left class, make good choices. She was the worst. Not for that reason, but she was the worst.
What are we getting comfy for? We are getting comfy for using extreme hair products to make my hair stand up in its currently very long state. I need floss. I have pizza stuck in my teeth. Life's rough, man.
Yeah.
I bet I could go even farther. There we go. But I guess then you're not going to see as much of the stick-uppiness when it sticks up.
You can always be adjusted.
Lol, of course it's pizza. Actually, this is the first time I've had Domino's or Pizza Hut or anything like that for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Since you got back from Australia.
I've not had any since I got back from Australia. I had none while I was in Australia. I don't think I'd had any in the at least week, or if not weeks, leading up to Australia. So it's been well over a month. The stick-uppy hair reminds me of a troll baby. I am a troll baby.
Oh. What's the difference between a troll and a troll baby? I mean, other than obviously age.
I don't know, but this reminds me of an inappropriate joke that I will relay to you later.
Okay.
When I worked at Papa John's for 8 months and I finally got Domino's again. Does this mean that I
No, that's fine.
oh.
It's a joke.
It's adjusted in a way that
Oh.
that would be so scary.
It's more just because I don't have a straw to drink.
I was gonna tilt the camera back up. I tilted it down so that I'm hoping it's just from like neck down for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you put that straw hole in it?
That's so smart.
Well, because when I made it, I was like, I'm going to a Halloween party.
Did you also bring a straw with you just in case they did not
I
have?
had tubing that I just
Oh.
piped
Okay.
in.
Yeah. So it was like Halloween straw.
Huh. All right, that's not bad.
So do you want 2 rows, 1 row, 3 rows? Your hair's too thick to do 1 row. 3 rows?
I don't know. How many rows of sticky uppiness do you guys
Are you
want?
talking like across rows?
Yeah, crossroads. So it'd either be just divide it straight down the middle and put it up in 2
Just
rows.
like horns.
Mhm.
I feel like an odd number of rows is the way to go, so that there's one in the middle still. Ooh. Ooh. Mm. This is how we make art.
Yeah, it does seem like you should be the guy from Iron Giant who's like, art.
Hmm.
You seen that?
I
Do you know who did the Iron Giant's voice?
I do not.
is it Vin Diesel?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
why I knew that.
weird.
That name popped into my head. I've seen part of that movie.
It's a good movie, Michael.
They're good dogs, Brent.
Your hair wants to like automatically flip up and over to the left side.
Yep. Wow, I just really like this tuft of hair that's hanging out over there. Reminds me of, what's the bad guy's name in No Country for Old Men? Sugar?
Javier Bardem?
Yeah. His,
I don't remember his name in the movie.
I think it was Sugar. But he had a ridiculous haircut in that film.
I knew that he did Groot. I just didn't know the Vin Diesel did Iron Giant.
Does he still do the Baby Groot?
Yes.
Huh.
Work.
Oh, yeah, like Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element. We just watched that last night. Abby had not seen The Fifth Element, and now she has. How many stars would you give it?
Probably 3.5.
Are you allowed points?
I feel like I should be allowed 3.5. If I was doing 3.98, that would be an issue.
I usually floor the ratings, so if you said 3.5, I would record it as a 3, because that means it wasn't good enough to achieve a 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still living in the 3.5 space, but I accept.
Yeah. I was talking to Stefan a little bit about how everybody felt after we watched the movie, and we both agreed that 80% of the enjoyment of that film is just in quoting the lines from it. Outside of it,
No, I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the experience of watching it. I think that the film itself and the content in it, I was like, well, I don't know how much I'd want to watch it again, but I enjoyed the experience. I mean, I feel like I feel about Hocus Pocus. So I didn't watch Hocus Pocus until I was in college.
Huh.
And if I had watched Hocus Pocus when I was younger, it would have been different.
How loud is that in the mic? It's not like... It's not peaking nearly as much as my voice is, which I'm impressed by.
Well, this is just the low setting,
Yeah.
so...
That movie is just so simple, there's not much to it. Is that about The Fifth Element? What I was thinking last night while I was watching it, I was like, this plot line is way more complex than I remember it being.
That's not how I felt.
In the way that they have, like, so many different, like, they rigged the contest for Corbin. And then there are, like, 4 different players involved in trying to take Corbin's identity to make it onto the ship. And, like, how all of those different things interweave the whole time. And especially with the way they purposely cut it so that, like...
I just like the fact that Bruce Willis and Gary Oldman never see each other, and they're the hero and the bad guy.
Yeah, it was at first a challenge to kind of categorize where everyone was
Yeah.
as far as good, bad. But
The way they cut the film, there's so many instances of, like... Gary Oldman opening the case and being like, this case is empty. And then, like, it cuts back to Lilu. Ha!
yeah,
And they're like, what do you mean empty? Like
The
just
opposite of full!
the way that they interweave that kind of stuff. And the fact that watching the film, it feels like a very simple plot with not much to it, I think is a feat of good writing and good editing, because you don't feel like it's complicated, but it is.
Yeah, I appreciated those. There were several moments like that in the film where they did a lot of cutting and created this dialogue that wasn't actually dialogue that the characters were having.
Yep.
So that was interesting. I think I can appreciate why people like it a lot.
I had noticed when the police crash into the McDonald's truck train thing,
Yeah.
and so they're stopped, and there's like just McDonald's stuff all over their hood. There's one box over on the left side that says something like, just in big letters, Mega Ring, or
Huh.
I don't remember if Mega was the word, something about ring. And I was like, I wonder how they decided what to label all the boxes they used. Chris Tucker's character.
Stressed me out. So much.
What, Ruby Rod? And his incessant screaming all the time?
And just so fast. Everything's so fast.
I can't imagine being the director for that film and trying to explain to Chris Tucker, like, here's what your character's motivation is.
Yeah.
Have sex with everything.
Actually, though.
I don't want one position, I want all positions! Mr. Rod!
You can call me Ruby.
I swear! I never felt this way with a human.
Really?
Yeah!
I love that both of you were saying the lines all the way through the movie.
I wasn't saying them, I was mouthing them.
I was saying this last night, but I am so surprised that that movie got made. Even understanding that Luc Besson had a previous record of making financially successful films, at some point he would have had to convince a studio executive, here's the plot that I want this movie to be. And it's like, I can't think of many other movies that feel that way. It's like a live action cartoon.
Like Cool World?
What is that?
Cool World?
Cool World?
You've never seen Cool World?
I've never seen Cool World.
With,
I've never heard of Cool World.
Oh, shit. Oh. That's going to be put on the movie night list.
We also need to add Iron Giant. On a night when I feel like sobbing, basically.
Be good.
I haven't seen that in so long. Ooh, James and the Giant Peach too. That's a really good one. It's animation.
You know, Charlie, I think there are a number of directors like that. Like M. Night Shyamalan is obviously capable of making fantastic feats. Can you make a feat? Making fantastic cinematic masterpieces. And he's also capable of making movies like The Happening and Avatar, The Last Airbender. And
what has happened?
you know, we're just doing this thing.
Oh, okay.
I always do, yeah.
What's Jonathan
Normally,
Kelly?
a lot of the
He
kids
did Donnie
have a little
Darko,
bleach kid in
but his other movies
there. I
are
usually have to die twice, so I die at once, do a
less impressive to me.
Kind of just sit in my hair to kind of.
I do like Edgar Wright's movies. I haven't seen Baby Driver.
I didn't have any desire to see Baby Driver, and then everyone was talking about how good it was.
That's how I felt. Caitlin just stepped on a cat.
They just want to be on their feet today.
Did somebody else step on a cat?
I just kicked Index.
Oh. Not even step, you kicked.
I don't know if I've talked about it on this stream before, but I feel like Donnie Darko is an accidentally good movie. Because if you watch the director's cut, I think it's less good than the theatrical cut.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Richard Kelly wrote a script and then shot it, and then the way the studio decided to put it together, I think it is a better film than what Richard Kelly's cut wants to be. He tried to explain too much in his version. I wasn't a fan of it.
If we get Bleach today, we could also bleach Michael's blonde straight back in, because I'm just noticing that it is almost gone.
Well, I think it's about as almost gone as it has been since last time we bleached it. It's just now there's more other hair involved.
Yeah.
The way this is right now with like one thin thing and one big thing on this side reminds me of one of my favorite sci-fi novels, which is called The Mote in God's Eye, about humans coming into contact with this alien species that has 3 arms. They have 2 big arms. I don't remember if both of the big ones are on one side, and then one little tiny one that's very spindly.
Like Baby Arm from Scary Movie 2?
I have not seen any of the Scary Movies. But these aliens like hold on to things with their big muscly arms, and they have this one like spindly, dexterous hand that manipulates the stuff.
Like a longer arm?
I think so.
Will you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Down in the bathroom, in the left side second drawer is the hair cutting kit,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is a banana clip.
A banana clip.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite film? I think the older I get, the more resistant I am to the idea of favorites in general. I think it's okay to appreciate lots of different things for lots of different reasons. But to boil all of those reasons down into some kind of absolute
It really depends
ranking.
on the mood.
Yeah, mood matters. Content matters. That's not totally unrelated from mood, I guess. I really like Donnie Darko. I really like No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
I wonder, I know that Netflix got rid of their 5-star or their rating system, but I'm curious if they still have all of my ratings saved. Like, can I go back through the list of things I've rated 5 stars?
Yeah. I think, yeah, there's definitely...
Count?
Yeah, I was talking too much.
Ratings. Okay, so I rated Contact 5 stars. I rated The Fixer Upper Show 5 stars. The West Wing 5 stars. Lots of 4-star things. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica is 5 stars. Have you seen that, Abby?
Yeah.
I have it all on Blu-ray.
I think I
I rated Groundhog Day 5 stars.
Yes. So, along with The Fifth Element, Groundhog's Day, I've both seen them over at least 500 times. My buddy used to fall asleep to that movie, and so I was always in there on my computer, so I'd end up just watching it anyways.
Yeah, that's what I hate the movie.
There's a movie called Moon that I gave 5 stars.
Is that with Sam Rockwell?
Yep.
He just shows up everywhere.
Dead Poet Society.
So good. I have a friend that lives
Arrested Development. Inception. Shawshank Redemption. Fargo. Forrest Gump. Spirited Away. Fight Club. There Will Be Blood.
Have you ever seen The Fall?
Is Brad Pitt in that
Do
movie?
you like that? No, it's Lee Pace.
Then no.
Hold on. Who did it? Tarsem Singh. I really like it. That would be one that I would want to add.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
It was very emotional.
As an English teacher, not a great fan of Dead Poets. Why has your career as an English teacher influenced your feelings about that film? I gave Minority Report 5 stars.
I didn't like that movie.
Sideways.
Is that the wine one?
Yep. Crash. Boondock Saints. The Brave Little Toaster. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh my god! I haven't thought about that movie in so long.
All Dogs Go to Heaven?
I want to watch it.
Walk the Line. Ghostbusters. Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Is that the one with the whales?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride.
So good. So good.
Alien. And Aliens. Terminator 2. The Dark Knight. The Neverending Story. Labyrinth. The Secret of Nim. Life is Beautiful. The Matrix. The Sixth Sense. Finding Nemo. Gladiator. Magnolia. Have you ever seen Magnolia?
Is that the super long one with a bunch of different stories all coming together?
I think so.
With
Tom Cruise
John
acting
C.
crazy
Reilly.
in it.
Yeah. The Spelling Bee, William H. Macy.
All that I'm getting is Magnolia Market from Chip and Joanna Gaines when I search Magnolia, which is also appropriate. 1999 film.
Good soundtrack, too.
When you first said it, I thought you were talking about Melancholia.
My favorite part of Magnolia, it happens pretty early on in the film, but there's a cop searching a woman's apartment, and he finds, I don't remember if the person is alive or dead, but a body of some sort in her closet. And she's like, that ain't mine! The Incredibles, Requiem for a Dream. Brazil. Have you seen Brazil? Whoo, that is a movie.
Gilliam, man. Gilliam.
Yep. Gathered that.
We should watch Brazil.
We need to make like a physical list.
Wall-E, 12 Monkeys. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. City of God. Have you seen that? That is an incredible film.
Is that Clive Owen? No, oh no, City of God, the Brazil one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, I don't care if I swear it right. I don't know.
It's not a public live stream. We trust our patrons to be.
I'm trying to imagine what Kelsey's reaction is going to be when she gets home from work and finds this hairstyle on my head.
Is she really talking about it?
She knows it's happening.
Yeah, but it's easy to talk about it.
And probably she hasn't thought about it today because we talked about it yesterday.
Fair. When'd she get off? It's impressive to me that it is standing straight as it is.
So, to be fair, with Michael's hairstyle, because I have just mess of hair,
Yeah.
So it's really easy to just do one sweep of it, turn my head upside down. You really should. I should have gotten got to be glued, because that way it's even. You have fine hair, and you haven't washed it for a while, so it's a little bit not as easy to work with.
Normally, dirtier hair is easier.
Not for a hairspray and sticking it straight up.
Because that's fair. When you're doing long hairdos, if you have very clean hair, it's slippery.
Yeah. Oh, I know. My hair used to be down to here.
What?
Shaved in the front from ear to ear. Chinese Q. If you ever watch old kung fu movies.
Okay.
With the super long braid.
Okay. I would not want to have to comb this out.
I look like a villain from a movie.
Spy Kids
You
3D.
do, because you have these two horns.
Uh-oh. I'm running low on battery.
Where's your charger?
In my room on the floor. Wait. Yes. In my room on the floor. You can't miss it. It's huge.
I was willing. Oh.
How much time does it think it has? 15 minutes. Okay.
Ooh, Kubo. Did Kubo? Okay. I was trying to figure
I think
out if we mentioned it or...
Who was watching that movie?
We watched it. I guess,
Oh, yeah.
a month or two ago.
Yeah. Gotta
Really good.
gotta stretch.
Yeah, you weren't joking.
Oh, I had forgotten how big it was.
That's what she said. Okay.
Surprise.
Is that thing
Yeah.
open? Okay. We're saved.
Do you want to take a couple minutes? Because I'm going to take a couple minutes.
Okay. I guess I'll take a couple minutes.
And for some reason, the thought that I have of you right now is that you would fit in Spy Kids.
That's what I said.
Did you say that?
Yeah, you said when he looks like a villain, I was like, what, from Spy Kids 3D?
Oh, I did not even hear that. I'm just sitting here
So, I don't know if I've told this story on stream before. I can't remember anymore what I've said to anybody. But one of the biggest laughs that I've ever gotten from a thing that I've said was related to Spy Kids 3D. I think it was, I was going to see The Phantom Menace on release night. It might have been one of the other prequel movies. But one of the preview ads for that particular showing was for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie. But right before that was the preview for Spy Kids 3D. So it has the whole thing, and it at the end has the big announcer's voice. It's like, Spy Kids in 3D! And then it goes to the next, the black screen, green screen comes up, next thing, and then Mr. and Mrs. Smith's whole trailer, it's, all dramatic, gun, shooty, pew, pew, kissy, whatever. And then, at the end, it goes, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And at the back of the theater, I yelled, in 3D! And the whole theater just erupted into laughter. It's not particularly funny, but, in the moment, it felt right. And I can't think of another time where I've had that large of a group laughing together at a thing I said.
well, I'm glad you had that experience.
Me too. It was a good one. Jokes in vlogs? What does that mean,
I
Gavi?
think he means as far as having a bunch of people laughing at you at one time. But that's not.
I guess in the same physical space should be added to that that sentence. I don't know, maybe presenting at Buffer Festival on stage. But I don't know. That was probably more of like a than like a
Like people actually.
like a full-on belly laugh.
Love me some good belly laughs.
I must go investigate the state of my car. What happened to your car, Jess?
It blew up.
Is your car running? Because you thought you'd go catch it.
The car is sick. At the doctor.
Yeah, NerdCon at the Cypher Quiz Show during the whole proposal thing. I think that was
Yeah?
fair point.
Yeah?
What?
I proposed to some guy on stage during the SciShow Quiz Show live.
Like, just on the basis of last names.
Yep.
Was he taking your last name or were you taking his? And what were the last names?
I don't even remember anymore.
It was Yonda or Rhonda or something. It was something very similar. And
Yeah.
you were saying that if you guys got married, you wouldn't have to change your last name very much at all.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Do one big spike in the middle.
The biggest spike.
Oh, the spikiness.
The biggest spike.
Spike noodle.
Funny.
This was a facial expression.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Don't nod. Don't laugh. Don't move.
I'd like to see Steve do this with his hair.
Steve, make it a vlog.
Do it for Halloween.
Have you ever had anyone dress as you for Halloween? That's
Yes.
funny. Really?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Are there any fires nearby Missoula? Not right now.
Yeah, it's been particularly not smoky.
Yeah, it's been very wet and rainy for the last few days. I love this weather. I love it.
There was some snow in Phillipsburg. Pretty cool.
Probably be the last Halloween I'll still have enough hair to attempt it. Well, seize the day, I guess.
Steve, you gotta dye part of your hair dark. Do it.
So for the record, your hair just wants to go everywhere.
Yeah. Sorry. What is Rum Tum Tugger?
From Cats the Musical. Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat.
Oh. I've never seen Cats.
It was the first musical I knew, like, all the words to all of the music.
Alright, can you sit up a little bit straighter? Because you're...
There we go. Let's see how high I can get this.
So high, man.
Right there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Should I host a SciShow video like this?
Oh, do you have to work today?
No. It's Saturday.
Oh. There are some people who work on Saturdays, man.
I have Rum Tum Tugger in my head.
What about Mr. Mistopheles?
Mr. Mistopheles.
What should I be for Halloween? What's the name of the guy from Mario that floats around in the cloud with the fishing pole?
Lakitu.
It would be fun to do a Halloween sideshow.
The Iron Throne, obviously.
Oh my god.
Woo! Oh yeah.
You look a little bit like you have grown a plant on there. Or like it is the strawberry plant part, the green part on top of the strawberry. Sorry,
Yeah.
my brain is not working.
I eat that part of the strawberry.
Why?
I just take the whole strawberry and pop it in my mouth and eat it.
Doesn't taste bad.
We make it joke that we were the two green things.
I need to fix the back left one, but there's some stray hair too.
Yeah, the one on the left is doing this little curl thing.
There it is. There you have it.
6'4", 5, 6, 7.
That's about as long as up to this knuckle? That's like... It's probably 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah.
So from the top of your head, that's an extra 3.5 inches. Or I mean 4.5 inches.
Yeah, I would say between 4 and 5.
This right here, from here to here, is exactly 3 inches from me.
Huh.
So.
Should go on a Walmart run.
Welcome to the live stream.
I want someone to tune in right now.
Doesn't this thing fluctuate from time to time?
Does what fluctuate?
People like coming home from work and signing on, so.
Okay, let's see if I can get a good picture for Instagram.
I'll fix it up and then you can take a picture.
Okay. We're just taking a little break.
You don't want to misrepresent Gory's work.
It's a W for Woodhouse.
King of Woodhouse. If we just
What's
chop
it like?
off the middle spike on the crown of his head.
Oh.
Your crown. King of Woodhouse.
It would be.
Oh, I have changed the angle of the shot. And not. It was just...
Sorry. As long as you can see this ridiculous looking kitty, that's all that matters.
I can help with that.
Oh. Like, I know that it's a funny looking cat. I see it all the time.
There it is. But where is puppers? What does that mean?
I mean, there is a dog on here as well. There are 2 dogs. I think that's a dog. The This Is Fine guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 cats, 2 dogs, and an Einstein.
An internet friend.
Oops. Oop. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
I didn't realize
Ooh.
that I was being moved around all of this time.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh. Okay, there we go. Split screen.
Pressure.
Her puppers sticker is much better.
My popper sticker, my Doge sticker.
That sticker?
Wow, such sticker. Very adhesive.
I think that's my favorite meme that has ever memed.
I think so too.
I don't really like memes.
JT! Hi!
Hello, JT.
You have a mic.
Well, I mean, couldn't you technically just move the mic into the middle?
Both of us are.
Well, okay, so I'll just put it on. This mode. If I go like this,
Wow, hi.
you should be able to hear Abby better than you did before.
Exciting.
The slight downside being that I'm probably less clear in the mic now. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, yeah, my cat hoodie. It's the ultimate in comfort.
Mm.
We'll just,
Abby is much better, but you are much worse. That's what I expected. Yes, JT, things have been happening. You win some, you lose some.
So does this harken you back into your earlier days when you used to have spiky hair on a much shorter scale?
I think this is in a totally different genre altogether. Even though I had spiky hair all around, it was still like all one shape. Whereas this is like adding shapes onto a different shape.
So you didn't construct any of your spikes. You just kind of like pulled them out?
I would just put the gel in and do this and then let it sit. Maybe I should be 2004 Michael for Halloween.
That would be so funny.
I don't think I have time to grow
You should be Rufio.
this side out.
Rufio!
Have you ever been Rufio?
Oh!
That's surprising. You should do Rufio. That'd be fun.
You'd make a good Rufio.
Just last night, Kelsey and I were trying to think of couples costumes. Well, because I was thinking up things that like I don't know, worked together. It like that guy I just asked you about in the cloud from Mario. I think it would be funny to have
a
someone as that character, and then someone else as the thing on the end of the fishing rod. But that wasn't coupley enough for me. So it can't just be like a 2-person thing.
But see, that's the thing, is that's a brilliant costume, because then if someone else is like, oh, I don't know what I can be, they can also be a spiky ball thing. And then you can just get like 8 people all dressed up as the spikes.
All of Woodhouse, like spiky balls.
I like your hair.
Thanks.
This is really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Or like twice the length of Gory's.
Was probably that long before I cut it last, or before you cut it. The time before that was probably about that long.
What would it look like if I went for a jog when I came back?
Fun.
I want to know. Also, I want to see if the spikes do the little.
They don't.
You're not really
They don't really move very much.
They don't.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, that's the good thing about hairspray. It's light and it stays, so you can go do stuff.
Yeah.
Want me to give you a piece out of the hand I coughed in?
Yes, please. Did the firework video bring you more viewers? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're still overall at a net loss of viewers over time. There used to be a day years ago when the videos would consistently hit like 4,000 views within the first week or so. And now it seems more common to hit 2,500 to 3,000.
And this has dropped since when?
I don't know, over the past year and a half, something like that.
What did you do wrong? Sorry, I mean,
If I knew what I did wrong,
didn't do anything wrong.
There have been some other creators expressing a similar experience as well. Sarah and I were just talking about this, and like how we don't know what the youths watch anymore.
I was gonna say you're getting older, but they're getting younger. So
Yeah.
the people who are coming onto YouTube are just becoming younger and younger with every single passing year, while meanwhile you're getting older. So there's a bigger gap every year of who's watching what.
I just think the kind of content is that people are getting onto YouTube and wanting to watch in that demographic. Like, I guess probably the initial demographic that you appealed to, that age group, is different. And we were discussing how we just didn't feel connected or know what that was. Like,
Should have gone with your hair like that.
yeah, I think this is the thing. This will do it. This will bring all of the whatever is after millennials.
we need to walk around the neighborhood, interview all the kids about what they want to see on YouTube.
We know.
Explosions.
Yeah, no, I know. If I was still teaching, I would just ask the kids.
I'm too blind to read.
Michael just needs to be a douchebag and yell all the time, and he'll be like Jake Paul.
I wasn't trying to say any names.
Who's Jake Paul?
He and his brother are large growing YouTube channels right now. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Are they the two people who do stupid stuff for a certain dollar amount?
I don't know.
Cause
I don't know.
I watched a video of like people making that GAC imitation stuff. And they just yelled and screamed and did stupid shit the whole entire time. And it was like a 16-minute long video. I got like 3 minutes in and I'm like, I literally want to cause physical harm to myself.
No, you jerk face. Eat my pizza.
He's being so... He wants to eat all of the food lately.
Why?
There's a mean cat happening right now.
Just...
He just reached out with his paw
You got
and
at
said, my
least
pizza.
2 feet of clearance still.
That's right.
No. Yeah.
I got very excited today because Radius came into my room and jumped on my lap and wanted to like be pet, and then I realized she just wanted food. That's all it was. It was being used.
It's live.
That's all kitties ever want.
Yeah.
Meow.
He did. He did get booted.
No.
It's so funny. He's being so aggressive. He very much likes sleeves of saltines lately, and he was like sticking his head down in the sleeve of saltines that I had. Just freaking out.
Well,
Yeah. My plant has bite marks on it. It'll survive.
I would very much like to make a channel trailer for what I'm doing right now that makes fun of the stereotypical loud, crazy YouTubers.
I feel like there are so many funny ways you could go about that. Like, you could go about kind of like the boring parts of the vlog, but try to like hype them up. Like,
I'm imagining having it start out.
Are you calling his vlog boring?
no, but okay, that was bad. I apologize.
But if we have it, like, we'll do my hair like this. We'll have it start out with me wearing, like, a chain, big glasses, do the chain from Bucket Light. And I'll be as obnoxious as I can right off the bat. Yo, what up, peeps? It's your boy, Mikey P. Don't forget to smash that like button. And then, like, have it freeze frame. And then have text come up that's like, this is annoying. And then say, you know, if you want some real life people acting like normal ass adults,
What are ass adults?
come watch this vlog instead.
I don't like that.
What? They bring in the ass crowd.
You don't like your boy Mikey P?
I don't like the concept of putting down other people for, like, I don't know. I get that
We're just
it's
putting
the
down
style.
Mikey P.
Sure. Sure. Mikey hurt me inside.
Scratched. He scratched me. Why did he scratch me?
Because you didn't give him your food.
You had the crust. You did not give him the crust.
I'm confused by the chat. What is Gavi volunteering as tribute for? Just before
The
that,
person you're making fun of?
Oh, maybe the channel trailer?
Naya said maybe he's missing something in his diet. I volunteer as tribute.
I know that the diet thing was about Index because of the salt from the saltines. I don't know about the tribute thing. That means instead of daily-ish vlogs, channel for adults with normal asses. I love that so much.
You're adults with normal.
Average ass adults.
Has Caitlin yawned recently?
No, but if you say yawn, I'm gonna want to yawn.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
It's one of those things like if you tell someone not to do something, they're gonna do it, sort of
But
thing.
yawn?
Yeah.
That seems like
just,
such
it
a...
makes me start thinking about yawning, and then
Yeah.
That makes you
there's a
yawn?
higher probability that I will yawn.
Mm-hmm.
like watching someone else yawn.
Just like thinking about being tired.
Hmm.
Or seeing someone yawn. When I was in elementary school, I decided that one of my main callings in life was to understand why people yawned and why yawns were contagious.
Have you succeeded?
No, I have not. I failed elementary school, Abby.
Yawn.
No.
Have you seen Life is Beautiful?
No.
There's a bit in it where the main guy is trying to make himself fall asleep. And so it's an Italian film, so he's like, dormo, dormo, dormo.
That sounds very calming. Dormo.
Life is Beautiful is a 5-star film.
While people yawning might be a social thing, there's still like psychology behind that. I don't know. It's very scientific, that's why.
If you yawn with someone, you like them.
I don't agree with that.
I was gonna say I never yawn when other people yawn.
You don't like anyone, that makes
sense.
You just hate everyone.
Because I've definitely yawned before while watching videos where people are yawning, where I don't have any sort of connection with them. The gaining oxygen thing was a theory. I've heard other things. I don't know. I've kept my finger on the pulse of this.
Like literally, you can take your hand and go.
That's weird.
I'm gonna smack you.
Front one got a little bit poofy, but I needed to fix it all anyways.
Just have a little spit.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My hair has become another creature.
Those weevils will wobble, but it won't fall down.
Should I do some Twitch streaming with this hairstyle?
Sorry, going for a jog.
Twitch jog.
I'll play Quap.
Oh my god! Have you?
It's a really simple game where you try to make someone run, but you have to use the Q, W, O, and P, and like each key makes a different part of the limb.
I didn't remember.
The visual of you with this hairstyle also playing Quap. And then somehow in my brain it meshed with the Quap guy having the hairstyle. You could also be Quap guy for Halloween. I'm sure that's been done.
Someone sent me a link of a guy who cosplayed as him and had the run like perfectly down. Just look up a Quap cosplay run GIF something rather.
Have you tried the Clop horse version? I have not.
Oh my god.
Is it CLOP for that, or did they use different keys? See you, Logan.
It's so good. Hold on, I need to find a way to make this bigger. Holy. Why is it so tiny?
Look at that cat back there, just licking himself away.
That's the one.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Gavi appreciates your mask.
Thank you.
Is that a plague mask? It is.
Can I see it?
Made it for Halloween last year.
That's pretty rad.
You can put it on. Your head might be smaller than mine, though. By a lot.
Uh-huh.
It looks scary.
You look fantastic.
Thanks.
If I saw you out walking on the street, I would come up and give you a hug.
Oh, I feel like I might poke you. So good.
Okay, yeah. So I'll have this hairstyle. You have that mask. We'll go play the witness together.
Yes! It's so good. Put rosemary in the nose. What?
They used to put a bag of herbs down the bottom to filter out the smell of death.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
They also thought that sickness in the air is what caused it, which isn't half untrue, but they thought you could block it with nice smelling things.
Well,
Yeah.
most lit. Lilit.
Lelit.
How would you say? Is it
Li.
Lee? Okay, so you wouldn't pronounce the T.
Le. Li.
Lee.
Like
Le. Lee.
the L-E part is le.
Le. Le.
Le.
Le.
And then li.
Luli. Not to be confused with Lila.
Lille multipass.
So, do you know what her full name is?
If I heard someone say it, I'd be like, oh, that's the full name of Lilu. But there's no way that I'd be able to recite it.
Oh, I figured since you had seen the movie quite a few times, you might remember it.
Lilu's full name.
Yeah, Ben. Michael has a book that has French stuff in it, and it was a bunch of things in a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it, and it just says "Laylit." I was like, "This book is laylit."
Liluminai lekatariba lamina chai ekabat disabat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, easy for you to say.
It's just once you hear something over and over, it just gets ingrained.
Yeah.
People also ask, what language is she speaking in The Fifth Element?
The divine language.
Yeah.
Spoken
I said
before
that.
time was time.
What is
Yeah.
the name of the opera song in The Fifth Element? Who plays the diva in The Fifth Element? Who is Zorg? Who is the black guy in The Fifth Element? When did The Fifth Element come out? And who wrote The Fifth Element?
That's a lot of questions.
Jinx.
First and foremost, the person who actually plays the diva, I don't remember her name, but she was actually not originally supposed to play it. They were supposed to get another person. Luc Besson was dating the woman who played the diva, and when the other person backed out, he got her to come in and do it.
To know people.
I don't remember all the... Who was the black guy? That's one of the questions.
Yeah, when I click on that, it just brings up Google's list of cast credits.
Do they know
I assume they're
Chris
talking
Tucker?
about the... Oh, I was thinking the president,
Oh.
but there's also Gary Oldman's assistant.
I had forgotten that was Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's
That
one
is
of
my
those people.
favorite things about Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Is that he disappears into his characters.
Every time.
When you go see a Tom Cruise movie, you're like, oh, there's Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise in this
Except
movie.
in Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Which is this movie I've seen too many times for how bad it is.
But Gary Oldman is just like invisible behind the character.
And like you guys had even said beforehand that he was in the film, and then I didn't realize it until the credits.
Wait, what?
I wasn't sitting there thinking, who is this? I didn't put it in my brain, oh yeah, that's Gary Oldman. I don't know.
He's fantastic in everything. He actually forgot his original accent because he's done so many. He had to get a voice coach to relearn his native accent.
I think you told me that.
I think that's nifty.
Well, this stream has gone on for quite some time. I think maybe it's time for us to hit the dusty trail.
We shall.
Let's not do the Oregon Trail. I don't want to get dysentery.
Well, we are quite close to Oregon. It might be an unintended consequence.
Fuck.
Gavi didn't know that Gary Oldman was in The Fifth Element. Interesting. Well, thank you for hanging out on this fine Saturday/Sunday, depending on where you are. We did some things. Some things were done.
Things are different now.
Yes. We have entered into a different time.
A whole new world.
A whole new world.
I knew she couldn't do that.
But when I'm way up here, it's
I was
crystal
just saying.
clear.
How green? Crystal green.
Super green.
Oh my god. No, I understand.
And with that, thank you and zzz!